What's happening, y'all? It's your good buddy Matt Harrison here to talk about my new guitar. It is a 2005 LTD EC-1000 Deluxe, and I'll tell you about all the specs. But first, I want to tell you how I came about this guitar. It's actually a pretty neat story. Well, not really a neat story, just a lesson that persistence pays off. Like most of us do, I spend a lot of time on Craigslist, on Reverb, whatnot. Mostly Craigslist, just because you can get the better deals. Really, because people don't want to mess with shipping stuff. You typically find stuff cheaper than on Reverb. If it's something really specific, Reverb's the place to go, of course. But for just finding deals, you got to stay on Craigslist pretty much every day in your area and surrounding areas, which is what I do. And I know Philip McKnight talked about this as well. I'm sure he does it. I'm sure a lot of you do it, but it's a bit of a compulsion, but sometimes it really pays off. And this is one time it did. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, where I'm from, but I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia. Me and my wife, but we were going up back to Nashville for the weekend to see my mom. And during that week, I had been looking at the Craigslist in Nashville. And I think it was Wednesday or so, I saw this guitar pop up. And they wanted $200 for it. And I started looking at it and I was like, $200. Okay, this is a spec'd out, flame maple, Seymour Duncan's, pretty much all the features you can get on this thing. And somebody wanted $200. I was like, well, what's wrong with it? So, of course, I get to reading, and the guy says that it had a headstock repair that he himself did. And he said he did it 10 years ago, and it had been fine. So I thought, $200, what's the worst that could happen? If nothing else, I've got Spurzle locking tuners out of the deal. I got a set of Seymour Duncan's JB and 59, which I've never had a set of Duncan's before. I don't know why, I just never have. And these are awesome. And also, the hardware, Tone Pro's locking bridge. Just in that alone, that's almost $200 right there. So I figure, what do I got to lose? So I go up and I meet the guy. And it turns out he is a guy named Daniel Blom. He's a luthier, and he's got a guitar company called E.B. Rooster Guitars. And he's actually, and I had actually heard of him because I was looking for any Rev amplification stuff on Craigslist in Nashville, and I had seen his post because he is the only Rev dealer in Nashville. He's got a little shop outside of Nashville in Fairview. And it's Dan Blom with E.B. Rooster Guitars. And apparently the guy's a world-class luthier. So that made me feel even better about the fact that this had a headstock repair. Now, he didn't do anything to refinish it really much, but it's glued. But, man, it's solid. It's still got a crack right in there, right across the truss rod cover, or truss rod pocket there, but it's great. It stays in tune. Well, I'll get to that. Anyways, so the guy was telling me, he's the only Rev dealer in Nashville, And he said he's actually making a Telecaster for the president of Rev amplification with a B bender in it, a Joe Glazer B bender, if anybody's familiar with that. So anyways, I felt like I was in pretty good hands, and I felt confident about it, and I bought the guitar, and I did a few things to it. But man, it's great. It's set up great, plays awesome, and it's just a lesson that persistence pays off. You know, if you keep on searching your Craigslist, keep on looking, you will find the deal. You will eventually find the deal. It's happened to me a few times over the last couple years. I've found some good stuff on there, you know, like a vintage 30 speaker for $60, you know, a nice oversized 212 for $200, stuff like that, you know, comes up all the time, but I'm always under or at $200. So that's what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the specs of this thing here in just a second. I'm gonna hear some play through first. All right, y'all, we're gonna do some sound samples here on clean with a little bit of reverb. We got the Seymour Duncan JB in the bridge, 59 in the neck. Here's what it sounds like. Bridge, middle. Neck. Let's start over, do a little bit of lead on the clean. All right, both together. Neck. Neck sounds really, really good. Neck sounds good. All right, now we're going to put on some gain. Here we go with our dirty sound samples on the dirty channel. Boosted in front with a tube screamer. Here we go. Lead sounds. Same thing, boost in front with tube screamer, except I'm going to turn on delay. Instead of a little reverb, I'm going to turn on some delay. Here we go. Middle position. All right, next. And that's the tones. Pretty killer. Pretty awesome. Alright, we'll start off with the specs of this thing. It's a 2005 model, and I believe it's made in World Music. It says Korea on the headstock. The factory designation is an R, not a W, like you usually see for World Music. But I believe this is an 05. It starts with 05 in the serial number, and from what I've read online, that's what how you read that. Now, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please let me know down in the comments. I'd be happy knowing. If anybody knows what the R factory designation is, you can see there, if you can see it, it's got an R on the back. If anybody knows what that is, please leave it down in the comments. I'd be interested to know. But it does say Korea, so I do believe it. It's World Music, or I'm not sure if they had another manufacturer prior to World Music doing the LTDs. But anyways, so it's got from everything I could tell, it's got a flame maple top. Now, it could be a veneer, but, you know, reading on Sweetwater and stuff, it does say top. And it's got some binding here, so I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. It may not be a top. It may be a veneer, but, you know, everything I read says that this model has a top. You know, maybe false advertising. Who knows? But anyways, it's a really nice finish. Of course, I got a few dings on it and stuff, but nothing too bad. You know, there's one little ding here and a few other. Well, no, not really. My pickup ring's a little cracked, but that's okay. Some buckle rash on the back, but for $200, man, you really can't beat it. Even got the matching headstock. I know that's a veneer for sure, but the only thing I'm really not crazy about with the finish and everything is all the abalone. I'm not really that big of a abalone guy, and it's kind of almost overkill really with all the abalone going around the, you know, down the fingerboard and stuff like that, and on the binding. But hey, it's got a really nice flame maple top, and everything else kind of makes up for it. You know, it's got classy looking zebras in it and nice chrome hardware. I do kind of wish that I had the more Gibson style pots, but these are the old style Eclipse pots, which work fine. I actually used to really want one of these back in about 2009, 2008, 2009. I wanted an Alpine white one for the longest time with EMGs back then, you know. But I never got one. But now I have one, and it's also got, you know, like I said before, it comes with dispersal locking tuners, which are good. But I find that with 3-on-3 headstock guitars, I don't like to just put the string through a little bit and lock it like that. I like to get a wrap. I like to get a wrap around the peg there, because it helps with tune stability, especially with this one. When I first got it, it was dropping tune a little bit, and it kind of worried me. And I tightened up the screw in the keys here, and that worked a little bit. But I finally broke down and put a new set of strings on it, and I did the same wrap that I do on my Gibsons, which is basically you know, wrap around once with this, and then go on, pull it tight, and then do it wrap around twice on the smaller on the treble side. So ever since I did that, I haven't had a tuning problem at all. This thing has been rock solid, so I'm happy to report that. I'm pretty sure it's got a mahogany neck. You know, the binding's good. The fretwork is great. I mean, there's no sprout, of course. No rough fret edges, anything like that. And the fret nibs are actually on top of the binding on this, not in it like on a Gibson. But the fretwork's great. I mean, these are nice. There's really not much wear on them. I'm pretty sure this headstock break happened early in the guitar's life, because he said he had it for 10 years and he fixed it 10 years ago. So, shoot, that's 2000. That's only 4 years into the guitar's life. So these are some nice jumbo frets that are just great. My only complaint is I kind of wish it was a 22 fretter, because I prefer the way that the neck pickup sounds with 22 frets. And not only that, but because the access to 24 and for 23 and 24, you can get, up to 22 like that, but 24, it's a little bit of a stretch, comfortably. You can't really, a little bit, but it's not really that great. So I can do without these 2 frets, but whatever, $200. The thing I do love about it are the pickups. There's a reason that everybody loves these pickups. Philip Knight loves these pickups. Countless people love these pickups. They're rock and roll to the core. They're I think this one, when I hooked it up, this was 15.6K, I believe, which is pretty hot. It's not as hot as some pickups. I've got some that are around 21, and they're just way too hot. But that's just about perfect that's as hot as I would want to get, honestly. It's about 15. And the 59, I believe it was around 9K, maybe 7 to 9K. I can't remember, but it was a lot less. But they're just great. You can do everything. The cleans sound good. The gain tones are just great. I mean, perfect for what I like. And I love this bridge. It's the Tone Pros locking bridge. It's I haven't really messed with it much at all. I changed the strings, and of course I didn't take the tailpiece off because it's got the little screws down here that lock it down to the post, which is perfect. And the action is great. I haven't had to mess with it one bit at all. So that's pretty much it as far as this guitar goes. I would recommend it. If you can find a deal on one, I would definitely recommend them. I don't know about the newer ones or anything like that. I'm sure they're great as well. People are saying that Korean guitars aren't as good as they used to be, but I got a Schecter right over here from World Music, and it's amazing. It came great and it plays great. So if you find one of these and you find a good deal, pick it up or at least play it. You never know what you like. If you like single cuts, if you like Les Paul style guitars, which I do, I love them. I grew up playing them. You'll like this. One thing I wanted to mention though was that this is a 24 3/4 scale, but for some reason it feels a little longer. I guess because of having 24 frets or something like that. It feels kind of long, but it says it's 24 3/4, which is fine. I'm good on 24 3/4. I'm good on 25 1/2. But either way, it doesn't seem as crowded up here as you normally get on a Les Paul from 12 to 22. But I don't know. It's great either way. So if you got any questions or anything or any comments, be sure and leave them down in the comments section. Give me a like or thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't already yet. Maybe share this video with anybody who's looking for a used guitar, or anyone who has given up on Craigslist and the hope of finding a good deal, because the good deals are still out there. And you can get them. You just have to be diligent. You have to be persistent, and you have to, be willing to, reach out to people. So that's what it is, man. You just got to stay on there, stay on there, stay on there. You don't have to pay $1,000 for a good guitar. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. If I had $1,000, there are plenty of $1,000 guitars I would love, but I'm just saying the good deals are still out there. don't give up hope. And that's pretty much what I wanted to convey in this video. So I appreciate everybody stopping by and checking it out. And I hope to see you back soon. Please hit like and subscribe. And please share it with your friends if anybody's looking for a good deal. I appreciate everybody who leaves me comments and keeps the positivity going in our community, because that's really the way it should be. And go out there and have some fun and pick some guitar.
Wow.